1v1 on Langreskaya. This game is Andres versus Majorawnge. His name I don't recognize. We're going to see Soviets versus OKW. And we've already got Shock Rifle chosen by Andres. Interesting choice. On this map I don't really find shock troops to be that great, but okay, guess we'll see what they can do. And we're going to see 4 conscript opening against 3 Volksgrenadier opening. Majorawnge going with Breakthrough Luftwaffe Ground Forces Special Operations. And forces a very early retreat from those Volksgrenadiers. Fortunately, the way line of sight works on this slightly rounded hedge, they kind of rounded a corner there and were able to get away. Meanwhile, an engagement's happening up here. Sturm Pioneers getting close on those conscripts. Wow, that volley just dropped that model so quick, though. And they'll be immediately forced to retreat. Volksgrenadiers forced to retreat from those conscripts, and at long range they should have no problem with these conscripts either. We will note, however, that the Axis is in the south. As a result of this, it's going to be very difficult for the Soviets to assault and take the cutoff. They're going to have to instead focus on just taking the points themselves, going for the fuel and the strategic point here in the north. Volksgrenadiers at range. Winning against those conscripts will be able to force them to retreat, but they do manage to take the strategic point, but they will be forced to retreat. Combat engineers actually closing into short range. Wow, and he retreats? Really? That seemed a little premature. I'm not sure he really lost that. If he had turned on the combat engineers, probably could have beaten them. Even at close range, they're not that great. Meanwhile, the fuel is getting taken by conscripts over here on the left. We're going to see 5 conscript opening from Andres. So very, very aggressive into early infantry squads. He's just going to keep them coming, I guess, until he has the 2 command points for shock troops. Still no manpower invested into upgrades, though. Once he gets Molotovs and field infirmary, it's going to be that much bigger problem for him to deal with. But a flak half-track is in production now. A little dangerous. A little bit dangerous against conscript spam. When there's 5 squads, the possibility of getting swarmed and AT grenaded to death is very real. Especially on a nice big open map like this where there's plenty of room for them to spread out. You're not going to catch them rounding any tight corners or anything. Not sure why he would get inside this building either. Oh, because support is on the way and he's trying to buy time. I don't know if he's going to have enough time. They're taking a lot of damage. Sturm Pioneers fortunately did not get in close range. Volksgrenadiers try to buy time of their own, throwing a grenade. Wasn't quite watching, and the squad will be forced to retreat. That squad also has to retreat. Sturm Pioneers force them from the building, but they do get away without getting wipes. Now it's going to be 1 squad of Sturms versus 1 squad of conscripts, and a flak half-track is available to support, and the engagement is won. Meanwhile, light engagements happening various other locations on the map. Looks like not much has changed, though. Volksgrenadiers making a light push into the right side and taking back some territory that they lost here as well. Black half-track is making its way back towards the center to push away more squads of conscripts, and AT grenades are being researched. Needs to be careful of mines. I see 1 here. I'm sure there will be more soon. Shock troops have been fielded. AT grenade research is about to complete. There it goes. And that flak half-track is going to have to be careful from this point forward. He can soak up enough munitions that will keep his opponent's munitions count down, keep the incendiary artillery and barrages from stacking up in the late game, but Soviets just have so much munitions to spare. They barely need them at all for anything. They can plant mines, throw grenades, go crazy because they're not reliant on upgrades to have effective infantry. Their shock troops are fine without any munitions expenditures. Fortunately, the repairs are quite quick on the flak half-track. And it should be able to force away various infantry squads relatively easily. And engaging around tight corners with the flak half-track is actually a pretty good move. because it's quite dangerous for infantry to round a corner into a flak half-track. But at the same time, it makes it easier for them to get into close range and get the AT grenade off. So it's a double-edged sword. And he's being quite careful with it. And as a result, some of his squads will be forced to retreat, but the top priority is simply keeping it alive. He can't attack through hedges, but it can destroy them, so he is just going to try and destroy this hedge outright. Oh wait, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe there's a very slim chance of the projectile going through. Either way, it doesn't seem to be a very effective weapon at attacking through hedges.
Enemy infantry! Contact! Enemy infantry! Protect the flank!
And rather than engaging these shock troops... Oh, never mind. It is engaging these shock troops.
Enemy fire!
It was making its way towards the north to push away conscripts. First pushes away these shock troops, though. Lots of mass conscripts will force a retreat from the Sturm Pioneers, though. Being too aggressive with those is dangerous because if they retreat, then you have no way of repairing this thing in the field. You need to be mindful of that. If this thing eats an AT grenade here in the north, it's going to have a damaged engine and be very far away from any sources of repairs.
Return fire! Return fire!
It's getting pushed into a rather awkward position, but fortunately nothing is moving to follow up. It looks like some squads might be waiting around for field infirmary? I'm not sure. Has not started research yet.
Infantry attacking in force!
For now he's just spending his manpower on reinforcements. And there's a lot of reinforcement to do when you purchase 5 squads of conscripts.
Objective secured! High cover!
Volksgrenadiers engaging conscripts. This tractor
Incoming
has seen so many battles.
Change your position! Get fire!
That is the only scrap of green cover in this entire open field. Oh, and this haystack, I guess. I always thought it was weird that a haystack would give green cover. It's a stack of hay. Uh-oh. Drawing in. If 2 AT grenades go off, it could be sufficient. Oh, the squad gets pinned! And they're both forced to retreat, and one gets wiped. Ouch. He had just enough available in the area to keep that flak half-track alive, and that engagement went horribly for Andres, who really needed to seal the deal there. That was a terrible trade. At this point, I think mines would probably be a good call. His combat engineers making their way over to the left side. He spent a lot of munitions on AT grenades, though. That flak half-track has actually managed to soak up enough munitions that his ability to plant mines is a little bit limited. He's only got 75 munitions in the bank right now, and it's because of the combination of not just... Whoa, what was that? What was that? Oh, this mine went off. Killed 3 Volksgrenadiers. Squad will retreat. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Uh-oh. Flak half-track's gonna take an AT gun shot. Oh, it missed! It missed! I don't think it mattered anyway. It was probably gonna get away.
Capture complete. No enemy activity. Enemy is alerted to our presence. Prepare for counter-strike.
Sturm Pioneers making their way across the north. Yeah, and the flak half-track is going to make its way across the road. There are a few mines on the ground, not that many though. Combat engineers now have Sturm Pioneers in their retreat path, but it looks like they're going to get away, especially with that minesweeper lowering their damage a little. Was that another squad wipe? Yes, it was. Another squad of conscripts gets wiped on the haystack at long range. I think he got a couple of really lucky flag shots right there. He's got to be very careful with his conscripts. They're a little bit clumped. The AT gun is moving up to support, however. Doesn't want to get too close to that field gun. Sturm Pioneers are moving up, but that flak half-track has no choice but to reposition. What's it doing? Go, go, go! Pop smoke! Oh no! Wow, he popped smoke at the very last instant, and Andres does not utilize attack ground, and the attack ground shot falls very short. But that was a very dangerous situation for that flak half-track to be in. Fortunately, it does get away, and we'll be able to repair back to full in no time. And a couple squads are making their way across the left side to get that fuel under control. Meanwhile, over here, nice harassment by Majorawnge, taking control of this fuel point with these Volks Grenadiers and setting up some green cover to stall his opponent, who still has not purchased Molotovs to flush him out of cover. Without Molotovs, you can't turn these engagements. Shock troops will get the job done, though. And Majorawnge is floating manpower like crazy. He has tech to tier 4, but he's not purchasing Oversoldaten for whatever reason. And another squad just got wiped. Combat engineers actually planted a mine which got detonated by the flak half-track, and then they all died. So unfortunate when that happens. You spend 30 munitions on a mine and then it blows up your own squad. Nice dodge. The flak half-track is coming to finish the job, pushing these conscripts away. It's getting up there, 17 kills now. If he doesn't do something about this, he's gonna find himself in a really precarious situation. That being said, got a lot of fuel in the bank. And once an IS-2 hits the field, that flak half-track's not gonna be nearly the threat that it is now. But the map control difference that it's making is just huge.
Regiment advises. Infantry ready to utilize breakthrough tactics.
On this map, though, it almost makes you wonder how big of a deal is it really to lose a squad or two in the early game? The game is almost guaranteed going to last forever. Unless you just make a horrible series of mistakes. Uh-oh, uh-oh! Oh, attack ground falls short once again.
An anti-tank gun has taken the field.
Whoa, that was close. That flak half-track is just living life on the edge, just sitting there behind that hedge. He's very lucky that that second shot missed. And he's going to pull it back for repairs now, again. And the road to 11 command points continues slowly. I can't believe he hasn't purchased himself Molotovs. I understand that he's spending a lot of manpower on float, or on reinforcement. But Molotovs would really help him. He can force his opponent out of cover if he gets any lucky crits. That's more XP, helping him get to IS-2 a little faster. I mean, we can see that his opponent has a pretty significant command point lead on him, and that's because he's not engaging that well. If he had been throwing more grenades, throwing more Molotovs, maybe that situation wouldn't really be that situation.
This now belongs to the people and workers of the Soviet Union.
And if he could just set up a decisive engagement against this flak half-track, that would go such a long way, but just sending one squad into the meat grinder over and over again, just giving him more kills, more vets, now vet 2, really hurts.
Field promotion!
Yeah, and no field infirmary, exactly. Look how poorly those shock troops just engaged because they weren't fully healed. At the start of that engagement, they took a whole bunch of damage before that engagement even began. Uh-oh. Will this be it? Maybe? Oh my god! What is this field gun doing? Why can't it hit anything? That's 3 times in a row that its critical shot has fallen short. But yeah, that is a very late field infirmary, and he's got the manpower for it. Why won't he purchase it? It hurts his ability to engage, and it causes him to bleed manpower unnecessarily.
Objective secured. We will defend it to the We are as ready as we can be. Ready for action.
24 kills and counting on this Miracle Flag half-track. Healing up quite rapidly. Will make its way back, probably to the left side, continue to counter-harass that fuel point. Meanwhile, Stern Pioneers trying to grab the fuel on the right side. Looks like they will get it, unless they leave the capture circle. Okay. Raketten Warfare has been fielded over here, and it's in a little bit of danger. Meanwhile, the field gun's nowhere nearby to engage the flag half-track. He thought it was going to hit the left side, but apparently it went to the center. G43s have been fielded to deal with that conscript squad, so we will have breakthrough tactics. I guess he's hoping for a Jagdtiger later. That's what it kind of looks like. He has 1,500 manpower in the bank, though. How can he be floating 1,500 manpower and doing this well? That's crazy. Getting himself a Panther, so no Jagdtiger.
We have an isolated sector.
Jagdtiger would be a nice hard counter to the IS-2, though. There's a pretty decent chance your opponent has gone shock rifle when you see shock troops. Could be counterattack, though.
Okay, that's the last.
Panther's better against counterattack, so he doesn't really know. His opponent hasn't played his hand yet. At 10 command points, though, he generally would have. He'd have a B4 by now, or a KV1, or he would have used from Mother Russia, so it's probably shock rifle. So Jagdtiger would probably be or Jagdpanzer. I don't know. Jagdpanzer's good on this map. Panther's is just a safe decision, though. Nothing wrong with going with a Panther. Trying to wait for Jagdtiger, probably not a great idea. But in his current fuel situation and map situation, he probably could have pulled it off. And this is the map to do it on if you're going to do it at all.
Supply lines have been cut. The point is ours. Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Flag half-track repositioning to safety again, maybe. Then the second shot misses again.
Powers that be have granted us IS-2 heavy tanks.
Wow, that is the fourth time that the second shot has missed. And the IS-2 is on the field. Hopefully he can finish the job with this IS-2. But the Panther's here. Panther isn't much of a turn to an IS-2, but it's enough to chase it off. Eventually, maybe not necessarily in time to save a flak half-track that's been a thorn in the Soviet side for far too long. But rather than engaging the flak half-track on the left, he drives straight up the gut to engage infantry. And he will be engaged by our Raketten Warfare, Panzerschreck, and Panther, so he is not going to win this. Gets two shots, though, that penetrate, netting him a decent amount of veterancy for the first engagement. And he's not disengaging, just trying to engage at maximum range. Gets a nice hit on those Spokes Grenadiers, and it looks like he's going to pull back for repairs. Fielding himself a new set of combat engineers for repairs.
Combat engineers are standing by.
And I think a squad of conscripts got wiped somewhere, but I
Enemy forces capturing supply sectors.
was paying attention to the IS-2. I'm not sure what happened.
Another IS-2 heavy tank is ready for deployment.
The second IS-2 is going to be here in about 5 minutes. And when that happens, he'll have a pretty significant lead as far as tanks go over his opponent. And we'll see what happens from there. IS-2 engaging. Panzerschreck squad, it's a little late to retreat, but I think it'll get him. Nope. It will not get away, and that was a very late retreat. He was hoping the IS-2 would miss that final shot. Probably would have gotten away if it had, but it's a risk you probably shouldn't be taking. Those Panzerschrecks are so critical. IS-2 continues to engage even at half health. It's a little risky if that Panther were to get a little more bold. Not sure what might happen. These shots are all bouncing though, fortunately. And a field gun has been deployed to the center, which will probably force that to retreat. G43 is engaging this gun, which is actually Vet 2. It's gotten so many hits on that flag half-track that it's actually Vet 2, even though it hasn't killed anything, except for random infantry that it's been sniping. Which is kind of funny. If he can keep that alive, that'll definitely help against that Panther. Field gun getting pressured by those Volksgrenadiers to retreat. Shock troops are probably going to have to do the same. The IS-2 is engaging Sturm Pioneers here in the north, and they were so slow to retreat and got wiped. I don't think he was paying attention, and losing Sturm Pioneers, well, normally it's a big deal, but he has 1,800 manpower in the bank. So he could easily just make more. I'm honestly not sure what he's doing with his okay, there he goes. Throws some stuff on the field. And Andres continues to wait for his second IS-2. Honestly, if Majorawnge would just spend his resources this game, I feel like he could have won. Could have won by now, for sure. Just won't spend his manpower on anything. Interesting choice to go for a Stuka when his opponent is clearly making IS-2s. I have no idea what the rationale is there. His opponent has only one team weapon.
Yes, comrade.
I would be surprised if that Stuka makes a meaningful impact on this game, other than to drain 100 fuel from Majorawnge. I think it would be fun to see him try to go for a Yogg-Tiger next, but that would take a zillion years. G43 should win this against conscripts. This range dealing very nice damage. Still no Molotovs, by the way, so no way to even turn these engagements in his favor. Going into the building, and it collapses, wiping out yet another full squad of conscripts. But he just keeps replacing his losses, and if his opponent refuses to even spend his manpower, it hardly makes a difference. Cover and defense is being constructed here in the middle, and the second IS-2 is making its entrance now, forcing a retreat from one squad. Panther moving up to try to convince him to retreat. Meanwhile, the other IS-2 is receiving repairs in the back, so we're not going to see a coordinated attack by both tanks, and that black half-track is going to wipe another squad. 36 kills. I'm quite surprised it's not dead yet, but this could be its death knell. Second IS-2 moving up to engage the Rakettenwerfer. Shoot this thing! Kill it! It has killed so much of your infantry, don't you want to get it off the field? I guess he thinks he can take the Panther, and maybe he's right! Crew shocked, it's down to half health, oh no! And there it goes! All shots connect with the frontal armor, but it doesn't matter. The penetration is sufficient, and the Panther is wiped out. He's going straight into the base. I don't know if Majorawnge is going to be able to stop this. One squad wiped. Possibly two. The tanks are actually falling a little low here. Might want to disengage. He wants to wipe that second squad, but it's reinforcing a little quick. One IS-2 is going to pull back to safety. Meanwhile, Sturm Pioneers, the first squad, taking control of the cutoff, while Soviets spread out and try and take territory at various locations of the map. Squad dangerously close to being wiped, and the IS-2 will disengage as a fresh Rakettenwerfer is fielded to push him out of the base, but wow. quite a decisive engagement. Because he didn't really spend his resources on anything. Granted, your manpower only options against the IS-2 aren't great. I mean, honestly, he could have made like 5 Rakettenwerfers, which would have been more than enough, or maybe not more than enough, but about enough. Could have spent it on anything though, and a Stuka, I think, not a great call. He's firing it for the first time now at something. That was terrible. It doesn't even clear the vet off that Vet 2 gun. I guess he's forcing it to retreat, which is something.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
And now, Andres has to spend a long time repairing. He's probably counting his lucky stars that his opponent has gone Flak, Half-Track, and Stuka, because neither of those things can counter 2 IS-2s. In fact, nothing that Majorawnge has is an effective counter to the IS-2. The best he can hope for at this point is King Tiger or Jagdpanzer. And, or Jagdtiger, but his fuel is not in a great situation. But his map control is. He's got 32 fuel coming in, which is a lot for OKW. So,
Fusiliers assigned to the front.
Once that gets here, that'll help. And by that, I mean whatever his next fuel purchase is, assuming it's not going to be a Stuka or anything like that. He does have fuel transfer on, so it's cranking his fuel income up at the cost of munitions, which I'm not sure I agree with. He's only got 2 Panzerschrecks on the field. He lost his G43 squad. He's a little munitions hungry right now, but he also has 3 Rakettenwerfers, so pretty decent amount of anti-tank. Rakettenwerfers are weak, but they can still get the job done if you have enough of them. Is it finally gonna die? Is this the end? I don't know. Doesn't look too good. Rakettenwerfer's coming to try to push it away. Will succeed. And the Flak Half-Track lives to fight another day. Somehow.
Reporting for action.
Fielding himself some more Panzer Fusiliers, and look at that, his manpower lead is gone. Somehow. Despite having almost 2,000 manpower in the bank earlier, he has made his way back down to 200. Just fielding tons of Fusiliers, Volksgrenadiers, and Rakettenwerfers to try and bolster his infantry forces and do something about those IS-2s. If he can't outgun it, he'll outspam it. Not easy. Rakettenwerfer's moving up to engage. Oh, nice positioning. This one's in the house. Oh, it could go down. There it is. Volksgrenadiers finish it off. Nice spread of Rakettenwerfers and Shreks all around it. Completely got a good surround going on that IS-2. Needs to do the same on this one, but it's slightly better positioned. Andres just can't chew through all of this anti-tank. He needs a little bit more shock troops, I think, to deal with all of this infantry-based AT. Flamethrowers are a nice addition to his army as well. Losing that IS-2 is problematic. It really is. And he still hasn't killed this thing, despite having ample opportunities to do so. So many chances that he's had to kill this thing, but he just hasn't even bothered. Stuka has only fired once and secured 2 kills. I still think this was a massive waste of fuel, but okay. Oh, you're right, he did lose another Panzerschreck because he's now only got 1 Panzerschreck squad. I think he just fired that blind. It didn't really hit much of anything except for a conscript squad, which he brought to 1 man. 4 kills now.
Area secure.
What is that Rakettenwerfer shooting at? Apparently this crawler is still alive. I don't know. Pioneers moving up. Forced away by the IS-2. Flak half-track is now Vet 3 and it has 42 kills and continues to be a threat to infantry making their way towards the center victory point. Fusiliers take the cutoff, slowing the next IS-2 by a little bit. Fuel income's now only 7. I think that gives vision too. Yeah, it does. Gives vision around his corpse, which he apparently... Is it even possible to, like, kill that for real?
Engineer standing by.
That is a bug. Hooray for bugs.
This is our territory now.
Second Panther in production, and also a KV-8 has been fielded. Probably a good call, although there is a Panther on its way. Still don't think Panthers are a great decision against IS-2s. They just can't outproduce them. There's just no way. IS-2s are just better in every way. Trying to hold out for a Jagdtiger, I think, would be, I don't know, maybe too risky. He seems to be doing a good job of stalling and delaying, utilizing his Raketwerfers, though. Also, his opponent just walked his whole army through his own incendiary artillery for some reason. And the KV-8 is engaging the flak half-track during this? What is going on? Panther moves up to force away the KV-8, probably going to destroy it, honestly. IS-2 is moving up to try to assist in this engagement. Conscript's moving to support as well. KV-8 rounds the corner. IS-2 moves up to engage from the south. Its rear armor is exposed. This engagement's just going all wrong. Black bursts, taking out conscripts left and right. Pins one of the squads, pops smoke to get clear. IS-2 is going to have to pull back after accomplishing nothing and taking huge losses. Just massive losses on the Soviet players' part. Just everything dying. That was actually a pretty good Stuka barrage. Up to 12 kills after that one. Takes out one full conscript squad. That might have been the worst that engagement could have possibly gone for Andres. He blasted himself with his own incendiary artillery. He inflicted basically no losses on his opponent. Doesn't think he can come back, and that's the game. Majorawnge will win. GG.